This.
So-
Amembo Akaina.
Something tells me all of this is going to be in the podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. It's definitely gonna be on the podcast. Definitely. But that's one, isn't it? So it's good.
Like, この番組はグランドスポンサー
グランドスポンサー
の提供でお送りしました。
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
No, that's the no. But this here, man, we can all the jokes now. All the jokes.
What you got first? Rick?
We got first, yeah. So right, so we got first is to talk about the Japanese community in London.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously we've been in that kind of community for quite a long time now.
Well, we met in that community.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
like been like, how many years since?
For you guys, it's been a bit longer, right?
Yeah, like-
for me, it's been about what, 8 years.
Yeah, probably a bit longer. Yeah, probably a bit longer for me and you. Like, we probably met each other. I want to say like, yeah, just before then, maybe like half a year before then, or like so. It's probably like
Yeah,
10
about
years,
half
yeah.
a year before then.
Man,
Yeah.
are vets. You're vets in the.
What do you mean?
What do you mean,
What
bro?
are you then?
What am I?
Soldier.
I'm not a rookie, not a veteran. Like I'm somewhere in the middle there.
That's what you're saying.
Still got a experience to get. Yeah.
Oh my days.
No, but the community's been good though, because like we'll be able to meet friends like how we met up.
Yeah.
And we met loads of interesting people, right?
It's just people, just
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
people I didn't think I'd meet before.
At
Just
all,
yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, before then I was just chilling in South London. It's only once I had to go to uni, like to go to Central, was when I finally, you know what? It's actually a place I can meet actually Japanese people who like have interest in like you know Japanese things in terms of language, music, and stuff like that, which was good to find.
Mhm.
You know.
I won't even lie. Before I went to the community, I didn't even know Japanese people here in London.
That's the same with me.
I can't even lie. I've never seen a Japanese person. in
Same,
London.
same.
Yeah,
I thought it was
same.
just
I've
me.
never.
I was just like, what? Really? There's this many Japanese
Yeah,
people?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
London?
yeah.
Like it was shocking to me completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same. I only knew Chinese people, Chinese and Vietnamese.
Yeah,
people. That's all I knew.
I'm Filipino.
Yeah, Filipinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
any
don't
Japanese.
think Japanese people like South London that much.
It's not set up for them.
Yeah, it's-
South Philly, yeah.
It's like accent though.
Yeah. Actually, they got school over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shogakko, yeah.
Yeah, mad.
Since that time and like now, do you think the community is different now?
Oh, way different.
Way different. Yeah, it is. How do I even explain? I feel like when I first started going, I feel like it was a bit more close knit, and people were a bit more willing to help each other, like, Japanese wise with the language,
Yeah.
everything like that. Now maybe it's a bit more divided. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Or
I think
anything like
it's.
that.
I think it's more like. I feel like it's more of like a drinking social now than before. I feel like there was a place where people could focus just on language.
Yeah.
And meeting like people who also want to maybe like Japanese person want to like improve their English, or like someone from over here they want to improve their Japanese. But now it kind of just feels like yeah, you can do that if you try it hard enough. But I feel like if you try too hard, you're gonna be that's the guy who just always studies like sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But before it was like people would be kind of I don't know. I feel like it was a bit more respected just to be interested to just study sort of thing. Now it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It's more focused on the social aspect rather than
I get
the
what
Japanese
you're trying to
language
say, though.
aspect,
Yeah, it's true. It's
but
true.
those kind of people are actually needed as well, because it's like it gives like a different perspective of Japan.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. I don't think it's a bad thing either way. Anyway, but it's to answer the question, it's definitely much different than when I first got there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, my only focus when I got into the community was just to learn Japanese anyway. Like meeting friends like you guys or people from Japan. Like that was just an added bonus as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I was just trying to learn the language. It wasn't really a social aspect for me, but that just came along, I guess.
yeah. It just came along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even me, like I don't even find these meetups and stuff. I think I looked on Gumtree.
Gumtree?
I looked on Gumtree. I don't even know why I looked on Gumtree. I'm like 16. And I think I looked on Facebook first. And they're like, oh, yeah, find the page on Gumtree. And when I messaged this guy who was doing the meetup, and I was like, yeah, this meetup's cancelled. I'm like, oh, okay, then. But then you think he told me, oh, there's another one which goes on. You should ask this guy, and then they just let me into like the Facebook group.
Yeah.
From there, I was just able to go. But that was still when I was in my A levels and stuff like that.
Let me ask a question. Like, compared to what it was when you went and when you went.
Yeah, yeah.
Because again, you guys maybe got, I don't know, 2 years on me from when you started going, right?
Yeah.
Is there more Japanese meetups overall now than there was back then?
No,
What? You didn't think so?
no, because there was only one, and there was the big one.
There was,
That was only I
no,
knew.
yeah, but that means that there's more now, no?
There's more now.
Yeah, there's more now. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more now. But before, I don't think there was
Is
so
the forward
much.
the only one I can think about is the big one, the one like with the shout out to Tombu.
Yeah, Tomabu. Shout out Tomabu.
Shout out Dylan.
Shout out
Like,
Tomabu.
Shout out Dylan.
Yeah, shout out Dylan, you know.
Day one, shout out Paul.
Yeah.
But there was all these other ones in between, like one on Thursday, shout out man like Dan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Shout out man like that.
But yeah, it's now there's a whole bunch of ones you can randomly like find. I know there's one on Friday. There's like you can probably find once every day like of the week, I think, like now. But they're all slightly different. Like the community of people who go to them regularly is all different as well.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
if you want to find a place that's maybe more language focused, you can probably find that. If you want to find some place that's more social, you can probably find that as well. But yeah, I guess the best way if you're interested to like learn Japanese or get into like Japanese culture, but not have to go to Japan, would be just going around to these different places and see which place fits best with you. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not everywhere is going to be like, not everywhere's going to be like good. You know, I remember like you, for example, when you told me, you
yeah.
know me like when you first went to the meetup.
Yeah.
I mean, I can even tell that story just even briefly. Yeah.
Go on.
So unlike Gumtree,
Yeah.
I was using Gumtree back then, but I was using the Meetup app. I don't know how popular that is now, but I went on Meetup searching for Japanese meetups and that, and then I found a big meetup. Right. I went there, and this was back when it was in Oxford Circus, I guess.
Yeah.
I went there. It's a whole bunch of people. Like again, I didn't even know there was Japanese people in the meetup. In London in general. I went there, and then I didn't know anyone. Everyone else kind of knew each other. They were clustered in groups, socializing, everything like that. I felt like I was just a newbie there. And then I ended up running into these two black guys that at the time for me, it felt like they were really, really fluent in the language.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't know any better. Looking back, they probably weren't as fluent as I thought they were.
Yeah.
But I kind of gravitated towards them because they were the only people that I guess they were willing to talk to me, because everyone else, they just kind of looked like they were just socializing.
Yeah.
So and speaking to them, next thing I know, they end up being the biggest dickheads that I could be. They were pretty much taking the piss at the fact that I didn't know the language whatsoever, and they knew whatever they knew, and that kind of put me off. And I was about to leave early, way before the meetup finished, and then I ran into Dan, and then Dave.
Dave, yeah.
Ran
Dave.
into Dave. Ran into Dave, and then Dave told me, "Oh well, if you don't like this one, you can go to Tomabu instead, which is a bit smaller. You might have a better chance there." Thankfully, I listened to him, because I ended up running into you guys, ran into a whole bunch of other people. So yeah, Darren's right when he means that, you know, not every meetup might be for you. So
Yeah. It's true. I mean, like for me as well, how I found out about Tomabu at the meetup was I had a Japanese friend, but I met him through pen pals. So I was using pen pals.
What even is that?
You know what I mean? So,
I know what pen pal is, but is there like a specific app for pen pal?
So it's not an app. So I was using websites. I wasn't using
Website,
an app. So it's just messaging people one to one.
Yeah.
And just saying like, I'm just learning Japanese and whatever. And then my friend at the time, he decided, oh, do you want to meet up? I was like, okay, cool. Are you in London? He said, yeah, he's in London. And then he was like, okay, I'm in this area. We met up. And then like a few weeks after that, he's like, oh, have you been to this meetup called Tomabu? I was like, no, what is Tomabu? It's like people who are learning Japanese or English, whatever.
Yeah.
At that time, I thought, oh, okay, my Japanese is maybe okay, not very great, I would
Yeah.
say. But it was okay. I want to try and learn Japanese, and I believe that's how I met you first time.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was
I remember you
cool.
back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah,
I
back
Oh,
in
you
the day.
remember back in the day?
What was
Back in
Rich
the
like back in the day?
Oh, he was
Showing the
he was an
video.
aspiring magician, bro. Like, that's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. Man, a deck of cards. Man came through with a deck of cards, headphones,
Yep.
and I don't know what else he came through. Probably
Videos.
Sony Walkman. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what he
yeah.
had on me, bro. Like,
Okay, with different headphones
my
each
God.
time.
oh, I was like, initially I met him. I was like, oh, he seems alright. He seems alright. But then I was like, what you got cards for? I was like,
Nah. But though, how about the black experience in Japan? That's another thing now, because the experience here in London for like Japanese people is probably different there. But for like us as well, when we go to Japan,
Yeah.
how is it different at the community here and Japan?
Okay, so I've never lived in Japan. I've been there quite a few times. My experience being over there has actually been quite positive. Like people have been really receptive
Yeah,
to the
same.
fact that I'm different, and the fact that I am black. They're really curious about. Because think about it, to them, how often do they really run into a black person? And when they do run into one, it's someone from Hollywood. It's an artist. It's a entertainer, something like that. So it's true though, right?
Yeah, but I bet you've been compared to like a super.
Oh,
celebrity
I've got in
before.
there. I've got Chris Brown. I've got Bow Wow.
Bow Wow, you got Bow Wow.
I know. What about the recent one?
Oh, well, Michael B. Jordan.
I was gonna say, you know, recently was in Kunku and that.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, that's mad.
I don't agree with that one.
I don't agree with that one either. Like, it's just so random. It just so random.
It's so random, but because of that, they've been really curious about our culture whenever I have met them, and it's been pretty refreshing to kind of break down what are braids, like what's a do rag, all that type of stuff. It's been good for me. I know for other people that might not be the case, but
I know because, like, I know back in the day, like, well, my hair's quite long right now, but probably longer back in the day, I think, maybe. And I always get this one question, like, "Jige desu ka?" I'd be like, and I'll be like, what's jige? And he's like, is that your real hair? And I was like, I don't know. Let me check.
I've gotten that question as well. Yeah, but I can't blame them. Again, they don't really see people like us. And then on top of that, how often are they going to run into a black person that can speak the language well, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
I think I think the difference between here and over there is that I feel like new people to like England, like new Japanese people in England, maybe when they meet me the first time, they won't think that I'm English.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time I speak to them, they'd I'd ask them as just like kind of a joke, be like, "Oh, where do you think I'm from?" When they ask me, and they'd be like, "Oh, maybe America, maybe like."
It's always
You're always American, man.
American.
Always.
So I think maybe that perception of UK isn't really black people, sort of thing. But I think that's not even just Japan. I think that's maybe like a worldwide
Yeah,
thing. Like if you haven't been to London, like for example, you wouldn't know that there's so many people. Like you walk down the street, you hear like 20 different languages in like a minute. It's just like a melting pot of people. You don't know who you're gonna meet the next. Like your neighbors could be from a different country. You go to the local shop. You could like the shop owner could just be from another country as well. I think Japan is quite homogenous.
Yeah.
Unless you live in like Tokyo, for example, where people can meet more foreigners. As I guess they wouldn't realize how much. I don't know the best way to say it. Like.
But go on.
No, go on. Go on.
So basically, I think that even in Tokyo, even though it's like probably majority of it is multicultural compared to the rest of Japan, I just think like still they think of you as an American person. Like I can tell you my experience as well.
Yeah, go on.
From like when I went to this event, this lady thought I was American, and every time I'm getting like America jin desu ka? America jin desu ka? And then they pretty much nearly every day, and it's like I can't be bothered to telling people that I'm British anymore.
So you just became American.
Just became
No,
American.
not
Is
even
that why?
American.
Is that why when you came back to the UK, you had an American accent?
Richard had the fake American accent. Came back
I'm
from
like,
Japan.
where did he get this
Yeah,
from?
were you living next to an army base in Japan? or something like that?
No, Okinawa, no.
You know what? I got asked from Americans when in Japan. When I was in Japan, I also got asked from Americans if I was American.
Yeah.
Because they saw me at a bus stop, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, what's up? You know, you give the
the
black
black man-
man head
Yeah,
nod.
head nod, the head.
Oh,
You made it. You made it
Made
to
it.
yeah.
Japan.
And then they were basically like, they spoke to me a little bit, and they're just like, "Oh, you from here?" I was like, "No, I'm from the UK." And they were like, "What? I thought you were one of those like army brats and something like that." And I'm like, "No,
Nah,
no."
bro.
Like, no, I'm just here trying to get the bus. You know?
Nah, but when they say I'm American, this lady was like, "Oh, are you American?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not American." She's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm not gonna say. Where do you think I am? And she was guessing the whole list. She was like, Australia. I said no. New Zealand, no. Canadian. The funny thing she said is, "You're definitely not British." Because your accent.
That's the only one she
That's
said.
the
That's
only
the thing
one.
is, that's the thing. She's like, "You're definitely not British because your accent doesn't sound British." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So me and my friend looked at each other. Was like, "Oh, okay." She doesn't feel British.
But you know what? To them, our accent probably isn't British. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they're only looking at the British accents that they hear in the media, right?
Or Harry Potter.
Like, yeah, Harry Potter, or you know.
You're all right, love.
You all right, love?
You're all right. You're all right.
How you doing, sweetheart? Yeah,
Yeah.
all that. So,
Yeah.
You're all right, love.
yeah. So maybe to her, you didn't have a British accent.
Yeah, but the thing,
She was wrong anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, she was wrong. But the whole thing is, for the whole event, she was looking, trying to get the answer, trying to know what I was.
Yeah, I think it just depends, like how much they've touched, how much exposure we've had to foreign culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I've met like a few Japanese people who's gone to like international schools and stuff like that, whose English is like basically fluent and stuff like that. And even though a lot of them would have more of like an American accent, like there. I know when I've met someone, they come here and they see my accent, like they. I remember the other day, I was talking to someone and they were just like, I said photo, and she kept saying photo, and I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, it was pretty funny, not gonna lie. It's pretty funny, not gonna lie, but it's like, but I think how can I say, the fact that she picks up on that they were able to pick up on that, I say this differently sort of thing,
Yeah.
shows they have more exposure to like foreign culture
Yeah.
to be able to tell the difference. But I guess if you've always lived in Japan, you don't have, maybe you want to go to a foreign country, maybe you don't have the means, or like you just haven't gone yet, and you've never met any foreigners. I think I'd be quite confused as well. Like if I would just always lived in South London and never knew anyone else,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'd be like, I wouldn't know anything, like, you know.
What's some of the like misconceptions that people have with Japan that you like hear all the time from like your family and everything like that?
Misconceptions.
Because I'll be shocked if you guys have any relatives or that have actually been to Japan as well.
I don't even know if they have like any misconceptions. It's just that they don't really they find it difficult to separate the different Asian countries and their cultures.
That is a very big one.
That's because they they see an Asian person, they don't know where they might be from. Like maybe because we've been around a lot more Asian people, like you could tell.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you can tell they're this person's Japanese, this person Korean, this maybe Chinese or something like that. Just because I guess because we study the language, we know what Japanese sounds like. Once you study Japanese, you end up getting exposed to a lot more Korean stuff as well. So you end up hearing Korean.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so that's Korean, and then Chinese just sounds Mandarin or Cantonese just sounds quite different.
Yeah.
In its own. But if you've never studied languages, at least you wouldn't really know like where to like what's what. To be honest, I guess.
Yeah.
It's true. Like even with my family, like especially my grandma, God rest her soul, she's not here no more. But like whenever I was in Japan, she'd always think I was in Hong Kong. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Same with my grandma as well. Yeah.
Always think I was in Hong Kong or like mainland China or something
Yeah,
else. Like
yeah.
I come back, she'd be like, "Oh, how was your trip in China?" I was there.
Yeah.
I was in Japan.
I think that's quite common with like the older generation.
Old generation, yeah,
stuff like
same.
that. But nowadays you just get cancelled. But
For that.
but it's just with them, it's the same thing I think with a lot of people. Like, if you haven't been exposed to something,
Yeah.
it's more ignorance than coming from a place of like hate.
Yep.
You know, if someone just doesn't know something and then just tries to talk about something which they might know, to someone else it might seem like, oh, this person like was so rude and stuff like that. I don't understand. They're being like racist or something like that. But I think it's just more ignorance rather than hate.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
definitely not from a place of
That's-
hate or racism.
I
It's
mean,
just-
like,
you only know what you know, right?
yeah. Because I mean, like, again, there is some not racism. Like, for example, people talk about the Gaijin seat. You know what the Gaijin seat is, right?
Wait, what's that?
What the Gaijin see?
Yeah.
What's
The
that?
Gaijin seat.
You don't know the Gaijin seat?
What?
So the Gaijin seat, right? When you're on the train.
A city or
Oh,
something.
Yeah.
the seat.
Seat. Oh,
Yes,
seat.
Okay,
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
the
okay,
seat.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I know where you're going
Guys
with
in-
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I know what you mean.
So you go on the train and you sit down, like, for example, and then no Japanese person sits next to you,
yeah.
right? And then people, it's like, oh, this is racism. When I don't think it's racism.
I don't
I
think.
don't think it's racism.
I don't think it's racism either. I think it's just like. I just think I just don't want to get involved.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Because I even seen Japanese people don't sit next to Japanese people. Like on the train, everyone likes to sit at the edge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because of the air conditioner, right?
The-
Especially in
It's
the summer.
that, but as well, it's like the most comfortable place in the train. I think. Even I do it. It's like I want that seat. That corner seat
Yeah.
is the seat where you just want
but
to
is
sit.
that seat the like the what's it called?
Isn't it?
You
Isn't it?
Senseki.
Yeah,
The priority
yeah,
seat,
yeah,
priority
yeah,
seat,
yeah,
priority
Sense-
seat,
yeah.
Yeah,
Priority seat.
But is that at the end in Japan, or is that like?
Oh, not those seats, but
So it tends to be the ones that are right next.
yeah.
To the,
So you know, all the seats have like long ones there, right?
Yeah.
And everyone, it's like the edges, and there's no other seat there.
Yeah.
But the edges there.
Yeah.
Everyone mostly goes to those
those
seats.
ones,
Yeah. So it's like people usually go there. Even I just like to go there if it's free, because I don't really want to sit next to anyone. Even now, I don't really sit next to anyone on the train. It's not like, oh, I don't like the person. I just don't want to sit next
Yeah.
to anyone.
But you hear stories of especially people like us that look like us that go to Japan, and then something like that will happen, and they'll automatically assume, oh, this place is racist. They ain't coming back here. Blah, blah, blah. Like I don't think it's racism.
No,
It's
it's
just,
not.
I think most of it is to do with just the language barrier. Like
I think so as well.
yeah, they like from a Japanese person's perspective, if something does happen, even if it's a positive thing, they now have to speak English, and they're probably not confident in their English.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
And they just want to avoid the situation completely, right?
Yeah. It's I think the language barrier sometimes I realized after learning Japanese, you realize how much of a person's personality comes out of when they speak their native language compared to like when they may be restricted in a language which isn't their like first like their native tongue,
Facts.
the amount like, I remember when I first used to meet Japanese people, I didn't speak that much Japanese, is like I feel like, okay, I know this person, they have this kind of personality, but then I learn more Japanese and meet them again and realize, wait, this person has bit more to them, you know what I mean? Like it's like you open the prologue, but then you just go, now you see all the chapters,
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, like, I had one funny experience on the train though.
Well, what happened?
So it was an old lady. I was standing on the train because it was quite packed. So I was standing waiting for my stop. Old lady walks past me and she's like, "Koro."
What? Wait, what?
yeah.
What?
She's like, "Koro." Yeah, literally. I was
So she just walked past.
walk past me.
And she just said black.
Yeah, black. This koro.
What?
I was like, what?
Oh my day.
Oh my God. Have
I
you
think
guys?
I'd laugh. I think
Yeah,
I'd-
I just
as
laughed.
well.
Yeah, I
I'd
just
laugh
laughed.
too. Have you had one of those moments where someone's tried to play with your hair or anything like that?
I never.
Not in, not in Japan, but I know when I've met some Japanese people and they'd be like, what's it called? Sometimes it's a 50. I think more people ask for permission.
Yes, they
And
do. Yeah.
Then,
they
but
do.
there's sometimes you do get people who just like, you just realize they're just touching my hair.
Just all of a sudden.
Yeah,
The
yo.
thing is, not just Japanese people though. I've had that on the like random people in the UK though. and I've been on the train.
True.
I realized this to be like a woman. She just be touching my hand and be like, "Oh, hair's
What?
so nice," and I'm like, I don't know. I
What?
don't know you. Like,
What?
so have well, your hair's
Yeah. I always cut my
yeah,
hair.
you're getting the one all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the fade now. I get the fade now. Yeah,
You upgraded to the
Yeah,
I upgraded to the fade. Let's get that.
Oh shit.
Oh god. Always but people touch your hair. Like
Well,
random
not
people.
recently,
yeah.
but I've had it happen though, like before.
Yeah.
Like it's not a foreign like thing like to me. But I do know that I don't really mind it as much if I know the person.
Yeah.
And to be honest, because they're just like they're just interested, you know. At the
Yeah.
same time, like and we're friendly enough as people, you know. Oh, it's not really a big deal. But when it's like someone I don't know, even if it's not my hair, but just touching me in any sort of way, it's a bit crazy. Not gonna lie, like it's just like I don't know you.
Yeah,
like
no, you're a total stranger.
yeah,
Just,
it's not just a thing about Japan. Like it's to be honest, it's. I remember someone was like, like what's it called? Can I get a photo with you? And I'm like, wait, what?
I've had that.
Wait, why do you? I'm like, why do you want the
What?
photo? It's like, it's like, you look. She was
What?
like, oh, you look like my master. And I'm like,
What?
Wait, what?
And I was just like, what?
Your
the-
master?
So, like, yeah, it's like my master. Like, you know, like I had a teacher basically, and you look like it. Look like them, and I want to take a picture. I'm like, no, like I don't.
What, karate? Like,
I don't know.
what's she
There was no
saying?
context.
No context.
There was no context.
That person
There
must
was
think
no
you're the
context.
black Mr. Miyagi, bro.
You mean- there was no context, but I was just so weirded out. I was like, nah. She was like, oh, why not? I was like, oh, no, let me go home.
I've had random people come up to me and ask, "Oh, can I take a photo with you?" Like, let's get a
Seriously?
photo. And I've had people come up to me and not even ask and just selfie and take a photo. Yeah, for real.
Did you when they've asked? Did you say
Yeah.
yeah? Don't worry.
Yeah, because they asked nice enough.
Yeah.
Firstly, like I was confused. I was just like, why do you want a photo with me? Like I don't get it. But yeah, I'd say yes. And then the people that would just take you without I didn't even get a chance to say yes or no anyway. So they just do it. Yeah. But I've definitely had that as well. Even the last time when I went this August.
When Japan?
Yeah, to Japan. Yeah, it happened again as well. Yeah, so
Damn.
yeah, I was in Kyushu that time when it happened. So
Wow.
yeah, just
Yeah, I don't think it's that. Yeah, I don't think if it's a friendly enough interaction, it's not that deep. But I think when it's like, I think what could be, I don't know if it's like hurtful, but it's like when they see you as like kind of like an object sort of thing.
that's my only issue with it. Yeah.
So do you like have seen videos about people who's like disheartened about Japan? Because I mean, like all of us have been to Japan as
Yeah.
well, and it's like we love it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some things I don't like so much, but I'll get on to it later in a bit.
yeah.
But I've seen videos, and I don't know if you guys seen videos what people really don't like about Japan. Like, what kind of things have you seen or heard?
I think when it comes to this is like everyone's experience is different, right?
Yeah.
If you like, some people may be in a position where maybe they don't know the language. It's like so they can find it more difficult to be out there. So they might experience more situations where they feel like, I don't know, the world's against them, like sort of thing like
Yeah.
that. But there are other times where I guess I don't know, like I know it's quite less than disheartening. I know it's some things in Japan is quite difficult if you're not Japanese to do.
Yes.
Like, you know, things like, you know, getting an apartment or like renting an apartment.
Getting a bank account.
Getting a bank account, yeah. Yeah.
Like doing these sort of things, which is like, I guess you got to look at it from two lenses. It's like on our side, if you want to live there, you want to settle in, you want to get like a phone contract, you want to get a bank account, you know,
Yeah.
you need the stuff to basically allow you to live the life you've been living over here. But at the same time in Japan, there's no history of you in that country.
Yeah.
You're resetting life.
Yeah, resetting. Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
you basically just respawns, like, you know, like you got no levels that you know.
Yeah.
You got no experience. It's like, so they have to be something. Someone's gonna has to vouch for you. You know. No, he's a cool guy. You know. Let's allow him. Let's set him up. Get him the apartment and like get the contract and that. You know.
I don't think it's that easy.
It's really not. It's
I don't think
really
it's
not.
that easy.
It's not.
I mean, you've gone through like a experience like that when you
Yeah.
moved over there, right, Rich?
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
when you had to get your phone together, you had to get your account together, and that.
Yeah,
Was it easy for you?
You know, it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
Like I remembered how I got my apartment the first time.
Yeah.
The landlord said, "Oh, I can't get this apartment," and the reason why, no lie, is because I'm foreign. That
Well,
means-
he didn't add any other
no,
details.
nothing. He said that to the Fudo-san, and he was like,
But he didn't even say like,
No,
like
no,
you
no.
need a hoshonin or
No,
like, he never said like you need like a guarantor
So
or anything like that.
so he was like, I remember the landlord asked the landlords asked the real estate agent saying, what nationality he's from,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
said, oh, イギリス人です。あ、ダメです。外国人が無理です。
Oh, so the landlord. So the landlord basically was like, because
Yeah, yeah.
you're foreign, you just like,
Yeah,
there's
but
no-
even though the estate agent said it's okay for me to stay,
Yeah.
the landlord wasn't happy, so I had to look for somewhere else. Then I moved, and again, same question came up saying, where is this person from? 何人ですか? あ、イギリス人。あ、大丈夫です。Okay, it's fine. Yeah,
fine.
and
Okay, British.
I can be there.
But I guess it's one of the things. If you got to pose a question, if you were to say like a different country,
What would
Yeah,
happen?
exactly,
What would happen?
exactly. If I was saying if I was American, what would happen?
if you
If I
were
was
like from
They probably
Nigeria,
wouldn't have
Brazilian or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very interesting. Including bank account was interesting. Because I went.
which bank did you go with?
Yeah.
What's the red one called again?
But this is-
UFJ or something like that.
Yeah.
yeah. That one. First time I went there, they said I can't make it because again I'm foreign. And when I went there again, the same bank,
Yeah.
same place where it was,
Yeah.
they said it's okay. So I just think it depends on the person.
What do you think their reasons are behind like denying you the first time, that first person?
The first person. So maybe they think, okay, he's not Japanese. He probably doesn't speak Japanese. So I don't want him here. Or maybe they had some problems before in their personal experience, whatever, with non-Japanese people.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to go through that again. So there could be hundreds of reasons why.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where if you look at it objectively, you'd be like, Japanese person speaks Japanese, can read the contract. Foreign person can speak Japanese, but I don't know if they can read the contract. If they were to pick someone who to choose objectively, it's not saying this is right.
Yeah, objectively.
But, hey, you probably would go for more. If it was like a lottery, you would probably go towards the Japanese person on that side. But it doesn't make it fair. Like you know, it's just to make their lives easier. You know, I can see from that perspective. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah. If it's depending on the day you go to the bank, whether they give you a bank account.
Yeah.
That's a bit crazy.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll go Monday. Oh no, too bad. Oh, I'll go Tuesday. Oh, don't worry, man. You know.
But I think whenever I have watched videos of like black people and they're done with Japan, they don't want to be there no more. They're living there and they're done and they've gone back to their own country. The biggest reason that I see, it kind of comes back to the language, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it does, because like when I started to live in Osaka the first time, I was like, I do not want to make any non-Japanese friends.
Yeah.
It's okay if I do along the way, but my objective was to learn Japanese still.
Yeah.
You know, because if you go into a group where it's like non-Japanese, you're in that group who doesn't speak Japanese, and you're just stuck there, and you're going to be like, oh, I don't really like Japan much because I'm in this group, no one can understand me because I'm not learning the language.
Yeah.
That's similar to when like sometimes you see a lot of Japanese people come to the UK and but it makes sense for they do this because they want to find a sense of community.
Survival, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, when they find like a group of Japanese people who they would just hang out with, maybe they work, might be some place with Japanese related, so they use Japanese at their work. So it's like, even though they may be living in a foreign country, it's just it's basically like similar to Japan. The only thing that's changed is like your environment's changed, but the people you're interacting with, like, okay, obviously they're different people, but it's still kind of like you're living in Japan, sort of.
You end up in an isolated bubble, even though you're in a different country, and it happens both ways. You know, I've met people that have lived a decade or decades in Japan, but because all the people that they associated and socialized with while they were there were English speakers, they weren't Japanese speakers.
Yep.
their actual proficiency in the Japanese language, it didn't really grow from when they got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and it's the same over here.
Yeah, I think like people decide on it because they just think, oh, Japan is fun, but it is fun. It's great to be in Japan,
Yeah.
but it's just so many layers to it, including like living there. So
I think it goes back to like the misconceptions I was talking about earlier as well, because there's a lot of people on this side of the world.
Yeah.
They go Japan, they think, oh yeah, I'm a run into Sakura or Sasuke or something. F is gonna be fired. I've been watching anime subtitles. The subtitles will pop up for them. Like, I'll be all right. Everything will
my
be fine.
God.
And it's not like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There is that layer of, you know, anime and manga, and especially if you go to like Tokyo, like Akihabara or something like that, you'll be able to experience all that. But there's more to Japan than just that. And,
I think they,
yeah.
yeah.
if you're gonna go to Japan with just that filter, you're gonna get shocked. You're gonna get surprised.
I've met so many people like that. So it's like, I would say the first year when you go to Japan or when you go and live there, it's like amazing because everything's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter if it's Japan, it could be any country. Everything's new, you enjoy it. And then the second or third year, whatever, it's like you kind of compare it to your own country. And you're like, oh, there's some things I don't like, and there's some things I do like, but I don't like this because my country has this, why can't I do it here in Japan? And it becomes like, do you want to live in Japan? That's kind of the breaking point. It's like 2 4 years is the breaking point. If you go past that, then it's like, oh, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you're okay with
Yeah.
Japan because you accept some of the not I won't say faults, but some of the things that is different in your own country. So it's like, okay, it is what it is. But some people don't leave that second stage. Some people stay at that second stage and start not liking Japan.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah, so- yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between traveling somewhere
Yeah.
and then being like, oh, I love traveling to a country. Like every time I go there, it's always a good experience. So I want to live there. But I actually living there. You know what I mean? Like I've never never lived anywhere other than here. You know, I've
Yeah.
been places, but I've never like properly lived. Like so, if you haven't experienced that before and you think it's just gonna be, oh, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry. I've been there many times before. You know? It's a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think your expectations are too high.
It doesn't work that way. But if you go over there with the attitude, okay, there's gonna be some stuff I'm not gonna like, but let me focus on the stuff that's different that I can really appreciate.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll grow to realize that it is a beautiful country in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I want to go to Japan, and I ask them why, and it's like, oh, it's really great country, but they've never been. They just seen
Yeah.
videos and
Yeah.
whatever.
I think Japan, like, if it's a country for you, it can be like amazing, like amazing place. Like I've met so many Japanese people who've been like so like nice to me and stuff like that.
Yep.
The people who've let me stay over their places and stuff like that when I've been in Japan. Like,
Yep.
like I was staying in hotels, they'd be like, no, don't worry about that, bro. Just come stay with me. I'll make you some miso soup in the morning.
That Japanese hospitality.
Yeah.
Omotenashi, you know what I mean? So it's, even though it might not be for some people, but if you're able to find like good people to be around, and it could be just like the perfect place, you know. Just depends on you, you know.
Yeah, that's the truth right there. Some of the nicest people I've met have been from Japan.
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
They went above and beyond to
Yeah.
make sure that I was comfortable in
Yeah.
Like, they really appreciated that I flew all the way from London to wherever they live, you know, just to hang out with them.
Yeah.
And they really appreciated that, and they really looked after me while I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like when you're there traveling, everyone's kind of gonna meet you because you have that limited time.
Yeah. I felt really bad sometimes because like they had a limited amount of time I was there, so I couldn't even meet everyone I wanted to meet. I'd be like, I remember one day I wanted to meet like a couple people, but then I just ended up meeting all three of them at the same time. But then I found out, oh wait, these guys know each other. I was like, how do you guys know each other? It's like, oh yeah, we met in London. I was like, since when? Like what?
Yeah.
Small community.
Yeah. Like they were talking like they were friends. I'm like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, I knew some people as well, and some people knew some other people here, and other different countries that we've met before, and I'm like, yeah, it's this very small world. Like,
It's a very Japanese
very-
community in London is very, very small. Like know, times I just walk in randomly, I just see someone who I just know, just from the Japanese like meetups or like different parts of the community, you know, like the music scene and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just so random, you know. But,
Oh my! But how about interesting stories? You guys have any interesting stories in Japan?
you know
Like-
what? I don't know. I've like I was actually looking like earlier today
Okay,
about
got
something
for us.
yeah. And this was just something that happened to me when I was in Japan. I was surprised it happened to other people as well.
Yeah, go on.
You know, so but have you guys ever been approached by Mormons in Japan?
Mormons.
Mormons?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
I remember when I was in Fukuoka, there was just like these two like American guys in suits, and they approached me, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And they were speaking to me, and just like, "Oh yeah," I was like, they're like, "Oh hey, brother, where are you from?" And so I was like, "Oh, I'm from UK," and stuff like that. "Oh yeah, we're from America, like you know, we're just in Japan and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man." And then they started talking about like you know Mormonism and stuff like that, and saying that they're here on their like their mission. I think it's what they call it a mission.
Yeah.
And they basically were like, yeah, we've just come over here, and I think what they do in their community is like they go on different missions to try and like potentially convert people to like Mormonism and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I find it funny like online. It was the same thing, like for which a lot of people else's experience, like in random places in
What?
Japan. And this person I said that, oh, I once met two Mormons somewhere in Hokkaido. At first I thought I thought they were just some everyday people waiting at a train station, and they walked over to me, and I thought I'll just say hello, was what it started as. It turned out they were on a mission from America somewhere, though they didn't know a single word of Japanese. Then they started getting preachy, so I thought it'd be best to leave. I watched from a distance as they tried to tell people with their words, constantly being turned down. Yeah, I think what's it called? I think it's yeah, this guy, even if this other guy said I met a guy in Ikebukuro who was doing the same thing. He was in Japan basically trying all alone to do God's work. Like he was kind of a geeky guy. He wasn't the most charismatic person in the world. And I can see he struggled making connections with people, or let alone with people who didn't speak the same language. So he's gone all the way to Japan to preach the word of God and Mormonism, but he doesn't know Japanese. Because I think they're compelled to do this because of their religion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just found it interesting that in a place like Japan,
That's what I'm wondering. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, you have your religion, you want to spread the gospel and spread the word
Yeah.
about your religion. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, these man went all the way to Japan.
Yeah.
They're all the way.
No one speaks English, pretty much.
Yeah. I found it, you know, it's just you gotta commend the determination
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Like you know, there's no way to bash people who are like for like Mormons or anything like that. But I just find it interesting that like I was in Fukuoka, and then they found the people in Hokkaido, like Tokyo, Ikebukuro, like they're all around like the country. You know?
When-
I'm shocked by that, especially the fact they were in Hokkaido. They were way up
Hokkaido,
there. Like, why?
they're in the snow.
Like, why not Tokyo?
They're in the snow. Yeah, preaching the word of God.
But there are some churches in Japan as well.
No, yeah.
I ran into Jehovah Witness in
Oh,
Same.
really?
I have
Fukuoka as well,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in Osaka too.
Yeah. So in fact, it actually looked like they had quite a big community over there. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, the person that approached me with his wife. He was Australian and his wife was Japanese.
Yeah.
But they were in the city center in Tenjin.
Oh, Tenjin, yeah.
Yeah, and there was maybe about, I don't know, close to 20 of them with
Really?
with
Really?
like handing out flyers about
Yeah,
everything and
yeah.
trying to preach the word. So yeah, I'm guessing they have a big community over there.
Yeah.
But Hokkaido, I'm shocked by. I'm just yeah.
No, I remember when I met the Jehovah Witness who came to me. I met her once before in the shopping mall, and then the second one I met at the train station.
Yeah.
She came to me, and because I remember her, she doesn't remember me.
Yeah.
I pretend that I can't speak,
But
she was like, this is-
wait, was she Japanese?
she's Japanese, but she can speak English.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But
yeah.
the thing is, she was like, "Oh, you poor soul," and then she's like trying to speak Italian, Spanish. She was speaking English as well, Japanese.
Wow.
And then I was walking down like the cargo on the train because she now follows me,
Yeah.
and then she goes and follows me and says, "Here's my number," and I was like, I can't stop pretending not to speak. So how can I speak to you if you give me your number? It
Listen,
doesn't make
she
sense.
caught you in one of the languages. It's like, I got to use all the languages. You definitely speak one of them. 100%.
And just to say, not all Jehovah Witnesses are like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
She just happened to be a weird one.
Weird one.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a very weird experience for me.
But yeah. Oh, you guys got any for like interesting funny stories? I've got another one
I got
about
two.
there was this guy. This guy I've looked at. This is all from Reddit.
Fire off, man. Yeah.
Fire
This
up,
guy
yeah,
was
fire
like,
up.
I was picking up a bike. I was falling onto the street. Some guy rushed out of their store, or I guess they thought I was stealing it. When I'd finished propping the bike back up, I walked past him and said, "Good guy, Jin," but pointing to myself. So basically pointed. He picked up the bike. Like pointing himself, saying, "Oh, don't worry, I'm a good guy, Jin." Basically, I mean, and they were laughing. They were laughing at the situation.
Good guy, Jin.
I don't know if I would refer to myself. as a good
Yeah,
guy.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would.
Wait, what do you guys think of the word gaijin?
Okay. I've heard conversations.
Yeah, same.
I know it's gonna be a big,
Yeah.
big topic. And that.
So, from my perspective, there just happens to be regions in Japan that use the word gaijin instead of gaikokujin.
Yep. Yeah.
And when they're using gaijin, they mean the exact same thing as gaikokujin.
Yeah.
They're not actually trying to be disrespectful or racist or prejudiced in any way. They just shorten the word, really. Yeah. So I think again, another misconception, especially over here, is that we've been told that gaijin, when you get called that, it means something bad. That's not necessarily the case. I know, especially specifically in like Kansai region.
Yeah.
They use that word all the time.
Yeah. Kansai is always gaijin. I don't think I've ever heard gaikokujin from like.
Never.
Kansai.
Yeah, but I just think it's because of the kanji, because it's like, guy is like soto,
Yeah.
and then the jin's like person.
Yeah, when you
outside.
outside.
when you translate into English, it sounds
Yeah,
Sounds
it
bad.
sounds
It
bad,
sounds bad,
but when you
yeah.
say guy kokujin,
Yeah.
it's like
foreign country person.
foreign country person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you want an outside person or outside country person?
I mean, if you're gonna put it that way, don't both of them kind of mean the same thing
Yeah.
anyway?
Yeah,
Like,
but-
if you're gonna look at it in a negative connotation,
Yeah,
like,
I guess if you wanna, I guess you can call me a gaijin, but don't say like kuso gaijin. Like,
Yeah,
like,
kuso gaijin.
that's how you know I mean, that's what I'm like. That's definitely hate.
Yeah,
That's definitely
yeah.
hate towards me. You know?
There's hate in your heart.
That's hate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, I was like, just let me live my life. Like,
I mean, I don't know. Like from other people might have different experiences, but I've never had an experience where someone's called me like a gaijin or gaikokujin, and they meant it in a really negative way.
Yeah.
Like get away from me, you foreigner, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I don't think.
I've never had it.
I think what's interesting, it's like the language play when you're here, when you meet a Japanese person in England, and they say gaijin when they mean like
A
non-Japanese.
non-Japanese, yeah.
But the word is used for a foreigner.
Yeah.
But technically, they're a foreigner in the UK, so the roles have reversed, but they're still using the word
still
gaijin
use
to
it,
refer to you, which is so it's like, then it's just like it's just a bit confusing. Like,
Yeah.
am I the gaijin? Are you the gaijin?
Are we talking about people that are not from here?
I don't
or,
even not from
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
People
yeah.
who are non-Japanese, like I find it interesting, like that kind of like how that language dynamic works when you're not in Japan.
It's true. Yeah.
But I did have an experience before where this Japanese guy saying like, oh, he was hanging out with me, he was talking to me, but he got really drunk one time, and he said to me, oh, I never knew that black people are very nice. That's what he said. View of black people was kind of negative,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's never met a black
That's
person.
the same thing with the ignorant sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and you know what? I've had that same experience over here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So and again, it probably goes back to when we were talking about there are some black people, they've gone to Japan, they've had a bad experience, right? And maybe they've encountered something like that where
Right.
they had a comment like that, they took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I've had the same thing over here where years back now, it was back when I was working at a previous job, and this person he was Asian, he's from like India, I believe it was, and like after maybe the first week of getting to know me and like just talking and everything like that, he was just like, oh, you know what, Alex, like you're different, you know. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? It's like, oh, you know, like when I went to school with other black guys, you know, they weren't as articulate as you and everything like that. Like you're much different. I'm just like, what you you think all black people just can't talk or anything like that, like, you know? So
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's media.
It's in media, yeah. It's 100%.
Yeah,
If you've never met someone, all you can all you can see is like things on the internet, things on TV, things from movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you kind of build an image of like what someone actually is, where it might not be actually what they actually are. Like, it's the same thing. Before I even knew about Japanese people, I probably had some kind of warped perception of what Japanese people actually
Right,
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's only after meeting them, like, I know, okay, this is like, oh, Japanese people, like, there's a bigger spectrum to what Japanese people are. Like, if they're from Tokyo, maybe they're more like this. If they're from Kansai, they're maybe like this. If they're from like places like Fukuoka, like, you know,
Yeah.
if they've lived for like over abroad, maybe they'll have this kind of more they'll have a different perspective than someone who's just only lived in Japan. Like, you end up thinking about more of the options rather than someone's being like, oh, they're Japanese because that means they have to be like this, you know?
Yeah. It's just you only know what you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what people know about Japan so far is loads of good stuff, but also negative stuff. And if it's negative, it's mostly about overwork.
Yeah.
That a lot of people say it's overwork. That's the only thing I hear bad only.
Yeah.
Everything else is like they don't know. Everything is like Japan's really good. Japanese people are kind. Japanese people are great, respectful. I would say that they are respectful.
Yeah.
But I can't say that they are 100% nice. I have met not nice Japanese people
But
before.
that's the same but that's the same for like people over here though. Like,
but
like, you know?
but the thing is, there's a culture kind of aspect to
Yes.
it.
Yeah. So a lot of people just think that Japanese people are just nice, just in general. They're just nice, and yes, there are a lot of nice people over there, but I don't think it's necessarily that they're nice. They're just like you said, Rich. They're respectful and they're held to a higher standard, you know, socially. Like, it's really important for them to not cause a nuisance or cause trouble for the next person. Compared to over here, which can give off the impression that they're really, really nice people.
Yeah, I guess you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if I have to pretend to be nice to uphold social, like, my social standing, but I'm still doing things that are perceived as nice, but maybe in my heart of hearts I don't want to do it. Is that bad? You know what I mean?
It's a good question.
Is that bad? Like, you know, what's the result of what's happened is like the other person's been treated nicely. Maybe I didn't want to do it, but like it's happened. It's happened. It depends how morally, like, you know, good that fits with you. You know, philosophical.
Philosophical
Yeah.
question. But like,
But we can go into that more in like future podcasts.
Yeah.
Definitely. But okay. We're gonna wrap up.
Wrap it up.
Okay.
Yep. So hopefully everyone enjoyed listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna put more future podcast episodes on.
Yeah.
And have a nice evening.
Have a nice
day.
evening.
Have a nice evening.
Or if it's you listen in the morning,
If you yep.
have a nice morning. Or listen in midday, have a nice midday.
And for the if
Feel that lunch.
any Japanese people listening, 聞いてくれてありがとうございます。
本当に聞いてくれてありがとうございます。
And that's a wrap.